A few days before President Obama's second inauguration this past January, an NBC Wall Street Journal poll was released indicating that 34% of the Americans polled looked at the year to come as a time of financial growth and opportunity. An extraordinary 60% of those polled, however, viewed the year ahead as a time, I quote, to hold back and save because harder times are ahead, end quote. One of the pollsters who conducted this survey reflected on the shift in the public's mood since the president's first inauguration. Instead of the hope coined by a campaign and expressed by a jubilant inaugural crowd in 2009, cope is the new byword for Americans still struggling with diminished economic circumstances and pessimism for what the future holds. Along these same lines, a Pew Research survey conducted last fall revealed concerns held about retirement, not from the baby boom generation who are now entering or close to retirement, but by adults in their late 30s. This age group, 35 years from retirement, had the highest level of concern of all age groups polled. 53% indicated a lack of confidence that their income and assets would last through retirement. On what do we place our hope? If it is in the actuarial soundness of the church pension fund, or in obtaining a secure position at a resource-sized parish, or merely getting through this semester or this academic year, then we are just coping like many Americans. And cope is not a Christian virtue. In today's reading from Romans, Paul gives us some insight on Christian hope when he writes, "Suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope." Now, this may well be just another one of Paul's apocalyptic riffs, but I think it also reveals deep insight into the human condition. Life can be hard. Some of us try to merely cope or avoid accepting this reality by worry, denial, overwork, alcohol, drugs. But this scripture urges us to live these challenging life circumstances, to endure them, because they can be a transformative experience of God's love. Paul's understanding of the human experience speaks of what is possible when the human life intersects and intertwines with the paschal mystery of Christ's suffering, death, and resurrection. And it is hope that propels us through this deep cycle of suffering and loss toward renewal and resurrection. In this season of Lent, in this season of coping, we can endure and emerge from our real or self-imposed suffering to claim the new life of sharing in God's glory right here and right now, for it is a hope that does not disappoint. And that's a message we can share with those who continue to just merely cope. What is it that gives you hope?